but she was just telling the truth.
You're feeling pretty good about yourself these days, aren't you?
A terrible situation.
Let's get some context and talk about his defense.
You know, this is very Andrew Cuomo. If you talk to people that know him or worked for him, they'll say that he doesn't apologize for anything. He just won't.
Just to clarify, this is Governor Andrew Cuomo, brother of Chris Cuomo, a major host on CNN. Yet, CNN is reporting on this. Stay with me. I'm going to explain the significance of that. We're going to talk about media bias. Click on the like button, subscribe, smash that bell. Welcome aboard. This is the Debate Me channel.
Won't get an apology for him. This may be the closest anyone will ever get from an apology when it comes to this issue. But again, there's still so many questions out there, right? The whole issue was that they were being counted in a way that, like you said, they were underreported according to the Attorney General, who did a whole investigation into it. They weren't clear about how many actual elderly people in nursing homes, long-term care facilities died from COVID-19. They were being separated into all these different categories, and it was creating this confusion. The governor admitted to that, right? And he said the void put out disinformation, put out confusion. Well, the whole reason Governor Cuomo was lauded globally, really, for his response to this pandemic was because he was so clear. He was so forthcoming. He was criticizing, you know, the Trump administration, different politicians across this country about how they put forth this information, but he was doing the same.
It is not the federal DOJ right now, but rather the New York Attorney General I mentioned, Attorney General James, that is causing some of this new factual exposition.
So, Governor Cuomo, a Democratic governor in a quote-unquote blue state, being exposed by the network where his brother is a major host, liberal partisan media, CNN, that won't report honestly on domestic terrorism coming from the left. That network called out the brother of one of their biggest hosts, right? They also exposed Pelosi and the games that she was playing with the stimulus at the end of last year. Here we have MSNBC, even more partisan. This is in some ways like a Fox News on the left. Although no one is quite like a Fox News, but this is the closest thing you can get. They're calling this out. A Democratic attorney general in a so-called blue state is the one going after this Democratic governor. I am no fan of the Democrats at all. Inept, certainly corrupt, not quite as corrupt as the Republicans, but it's not a competition. The Democrats are corrupt. They serve the elites. They're dishonest. They're flip-floppers, phonies. They're all about theatrics. Those Democrats going after one of their own. Meanwhile, the Republicans, I've never really seen them go after anyone on their side, unless it was for them doing the right thing, like censuring people for voting to convict Trump. Almost like a cancel culture move. Right? You can disagree with other Republican senators who feel he should be convicted. That's fine. But why would you censure them for they feel that he should be convicted? What differing opinions are not allowed in the Republican Party? Cancel culture is okay as long as conservatives are doing it to themselves?
Cuomo was, quote, vastly undercounting the death toll from nursing homes.
New York State will mobilize an army. No state will do it better. You don't defeat a virus with politics.
Going on shows like Ellen, where she's pumping your head up with helium about how great you are, the cover of Rolling Stone, that you now, as we used to say in the neighborhood, think who you are.
To do Ellen's show was a pleasure for me. I'm a big fan of Ellen. Yes, she said nice things about me.
Yes, she did.
Which she didn't say about you. But
So while people are dying, Governor Cuomo is goofing off with his brother on CNN, and liberal media, MSNBC, partisan liberal media, MSNBC, propaganda MSNBC is exposing Governor Cuomo, and partially CNN, who's also exposing Governor Cuomo. When have you ever seen this done in conservative media? I haven't seen it, and I watch them all the time.
But she was just telling the truth.
You're feeling pretty good about yourself these days, aren't you?
Telling the truth. The issue here is that only full transparency appears to have come to the light under pressure. James' report, in fact, first came out about 2 weeks ago. We reported on it then. And what's striking is after this partial report revealed these problems with counting the deaths, then the state responded by actually changing the numbers of deaths from nursing homes. And what the CUOMO team was doing was basically trying to allocate deaths that occurred in nursing homes and related to contracting in nursing homes to hospitals. They were, according at least to this new aid, doing that on purpose to try to give an incomplete picture. Now,
So this is good. This is not going to make up for all the dishonest reporting, all the slanted reporting, all of the propaganda we've seen in liberal media. However, this yet again shows media in the United States is absolutely garbage. We see a lot of amateur hour reporting. We see a lot of propaganda, a lot of bias, a lot of slanted reporting and framing of things, and, under-reporting certain things, over-reporting on others to pander to their audience. MSNBC does this all the time. Race baiting. CNN does it all the time. Right? But if media in the United States were a ghetto of some sort, conservative media would be the very heart of the ghetto. It's where the gang members live. It's where the police won't even go. If you go there and you're not from there, you're probably going to get yourself hurt. That's where conservative media lives. It's nothing against conservatism. We're specifically talking about media because, again, media in this country, most of it is trash. Cannot be trusted. But there's levels. And conservative media has proven time and time again to be the absolute bottom of the barrel. If I were a conservative, my quest for finding legitimate media sources would be tremendously more difficult than as a liberal. I think liberals who are aware of how bad media is, it's challenging, but I think you have considerably more options than you do as a conservative. I have never seen a single video by Tim Pool, Blaze TV, Ben Shapiro, Steven Crowder, Newsmax. I've never seen a single video. Dave Rubin exposing anything corrupt that Trump has done. Exposing anything corrupt that the Trump administration has done. Exposing any particular Republican. They all claim we don't like Republicans and Republicans, whatever. They'll say that. Honorable mention trick in the middle of a video about something else. I don't see the 5 reasons why Lindsey Graham should be removed. I don't see the 5 reasons why Moscow Mitch is the worst of the Republican Party. I'm not saying that's factually. I'm just saying those types of videos. They'll make them about Pelosi. They'll make them about Democrats. They'll make it about CNN and MSNBC, right? They attack the left, pandering to their audience. But they provide cover for the swamp. Because they will spend all this time talking about the swamp on the left, and there is a swamp on the left for sure, but yet ignore the swamp on the right, which by doing so, they are supporting and preserving and protecting the swamp, right? If you got a problem with corruption in government, if you got a problem with corrupt politicians, then you wouldn't be protecting them on the right. You would not be protecting Republicans. You would be going after them just as hard as you would the ones on the left. By the way, one of the key elements of propaganda, by definition, is exactly what they're doing. Part of being a propaganda network is you spend a lot of time trying to smear an other. The left, the left, the left. The Democrats, the Democrats, the Democrats. These socialists, da-da-da-da. That's a key part of propaganda. Whenever you see these really partisan channels on the left that spend a lot of time focused on the right is this, the right is that, and they turn a blind eye. Like, how many independent left-leaning channels are talking about this CUOMO story? How many of them talked about the verification logo that was added to that tweet? Now, there's an explanation for that, but why was it not worthy of discussion? Why is there no interest? Potentially, Democrats might have done some shady stuff during the impeachment trial. I'm not saying they did or didn't. I'm saying potentially that's definitely newsworthy. Even if you're to go and say, no. People are saying this is actually not true. They don't have any interest in that. Any corruption on the right, they're all over it. They'll jump on, Lindsey Graham said, da-da-da, right? That is the essence of propaganda. Liberal media just, yet again, nuked my Tim Pool impression. Liberal media, yet again, has just nuked almost the entire conservative media from orbit. Liberal media is exposing a Democratic governor, a very popular and highly rated Democratic governor, and a Democratic AG is going after this popular Democratic governor. Meanwhile, the Republicans are going after other Republicans, trying to cancel them for voting their conscience. Our government is very corrupt. There's corruption on the left, corruption on the right. So I assure you, there have been a lot of corrupt things that have happened in the Republican Party. Yet, I don't see Republican AG going after Republicans. Unless, of course, they're trying to cancel them for going against the Supreme Commander, Donald J. Trump. Sounds a little bit North Korean to you? I feel the same way. And it is a little bit North Korean. Or Communist Party, ironically. The group that keeps talking about communists and the Communist Party and China are themselves trying to bring that very culture to the United States. This level of propaganda is traditionally expected from places like China and North Korea. You have a network like Blaze TV that censored the entire trial, impeachment trial, other than posted a few snippets of Trump's attorneys supposedly owning the libs. Let's not even show what the Democrats said. Right? I mean, you could just show it and let your audience decide and say, hey, that was a stupid argument. Not even worth showing. That's the level of propaganda. We're going to completely silence and censor anything that the impeachment managers have said. And we're going to selectively show you what Trump's attorneys have said that we think makes them look good. Almost as if we're paid by Donald Trump or Republicans, like we're paid operatives. Again, North Korea, China. That's where you find this kind of stuff. And again, certainly find it on the left as well. Liberal media, absolutely. But not to this level. Conservative media is the bottom of the barrel of media in the United States of America. I will admit, at first, I didn't give them much credit. I heard a lot of the smearing that's done on the left about how these guys are disgusting. Then I started to realize that sometimes when they're calling them disgusting, it's because they're actually exposing things that the left won't talk about. So then I started to say, are these guys really disgusting, or is it just they're exposing the left? So I started looking at them and I see, oh, this is good. They're actually telling stuff that I'm not seeing on the left. Good stuff. But then over time, I kept analyzing what they were doing and monitoring what they were doing, and I started to see over time how bad they are. And now, this Capitol attack and impeachment trial has shown how disgustingly corrupt and dishonest and propaganda-filled a majority of our conservative media is in this country. And it's sickening. This is the Debate Me channel. Debate me in the comment section below. Click on the like button, subscribe, smash that bell. Be well.